Hello, everyone. My name's Attorney David Koroyan. I'm counsel for the town of Rockland. We'll begin the meeting in a moment. I think we're just waiting on a few more board members, then we'll start. Everyone, please, we'll give everyone an opportunity to speak. I'll kind of go through the agenda and everything, but if people could please just remain muted for now, and then we're just waiting a few more minutes for a few more board members, then we'll begin everything shortly. So just about there, I think we're just going to give a few more minutes for people to join. Just going to follow up with a few more board members, then we'll begin in about 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, I believe we have everyone. Is board member Eileen Sina on the call? I don't know if I had seen her yet. We'll give her another minute. If not, we will proceed. All right, well, we have a sufficient number of members to move forward. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to start the board meeting now. There's three specific items on today's agenda. The first of which is discuss and vote on a Hillcrest petition for the increase for the period of 2023 to 2024. Discuss and vote upon an eviction petition notice from Hillcrest, and also for the board to discuss and vote upon a request for increase in renting amounts for the members of Live Oaks Village. Just confirm if the board members can introduce themselves in a moment, then we'll begin. For any residents who want to speak, we'll give everyone ample opportunity. Given that we are via Zoom, I would just ask that people stay muted. At the bottom of your screen, there's a little smiley face that says reactions. If you click on that, there's a raise hand option, like on my screen, and that'll stay. So when we get to the next topic, if you want to be heard on a matter, just raise your hand as it were in the Zoom, and we'll get to each person in time. So with that being said, if the board members could just introduce themselves.
Hi, Karen
Hi,
Anderson.
it's Patty Dennehy.
No, Ms. Sullivan, I believe you're here.
Hi, yes, I'm Sue Sullivan from Leisure Woods.
Ms. Denny. Ms. Primavera, I believe you're coming in through phone, but I believe you're here as well, if you can hear us.
Hi, my name is Debbie Joyce, and I'm new to the board. I'm from Live Oaks Village.
Hi, Debbie. And then I just want to confirm that, and then and Ms. Primavera, you here as well? No, it looks like there's see, it seems to be reconnecting. Yeah.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Hi, Ms. Primavera, how are you?
All right, I'm here. Sorry about that. All right. This is Carol Primavera.
So the first member of the board to review and discuss on is the Hillcrest 2023 rent adjustment petition. I believe Attorney Laverty is here on behalf of Hillcrest. I'll give him a moment to speak. So Just procedurally, we'll let Attorney Laverty give a brief presentation on the submittals he sent to the town. Then we'll give residents an opportunity to be heard on the matter, and then we'll let the board discuss and vote on it. So Attorney Laverty, if you'd like to speak.
Good evening, Rent Control Board members. My name is Mark Laverty. I am local counsel for the Hillcrest Manufactured Home Community. What's before the board tonight is that Hillcrest has submitted their 2023 rent adjustment petition back in June of 2023. We submitted that timely, and Hillcrest has filed all of the required paperwork necessary for the rent adjustment from July 1st of 2023 through June 30th of 2024. We've submitted all of those paperwork and our petition in accordance with the Rockland Rent Control Board rules and regulations that were finalized and approved by the board back on May 13th of 2014, which in essence allows for a CPI increase. We submitted all the paperwork. The CPI increase that is set forth in our petition is for 7%. So it amounts to a monthly increase of $48.84 per month. That would bring the total monthly rent for Hillcrest, if approved, to $758.60. And we're requesting that the board approve this petition. We do realize that it took some time for the Rent Control Board to have a proper quorum and enough members to move forward with this petition, so it has been delayed. So if there are any residents that have any difficulty with making catch-up payments, the landlord is most certainly willing to work with them. We did put in our petition that we would recognize a 3-month period. But again, if there's any members that have any difficulty with that, you know, we're not trying to make it difficult for residents, and we would work with residents so that they can catch up and remain current with their rent.
Thank you, Attorney Laverty. Are there any residents who'd like to be heard before the board discusses this matter?
Residents from Live Oaks would like to speak. I'm not sure when.
Yeah, we're going to get to the Live Oaks petition later on in the meeting. So this is just
Okay,
for the matter of the Hillcrest rental petition.
Great, thank you so much.
All right, so seeing none, if a member of the board, so open it to the board to discuss and vote upon Hillcrest petition for a 7% increase for the period of July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. As Attorney Laverty indicated, the Hillcrest complied with the board's rules and regulations, and it's compliant with CPI value of 7%, which was the CPI at the time of their applicable for their petition. So if a member of the board would like to move to vote on that matter.
I'll vote in favor of it. This is Carol Primavera.
All right, so we'll moves to vote on it. Do I have another board member who would second that?
Yes, this is Patty Dennehy. I will second that.
Okay, great. So I'll go down the roll call. Board Member Sullivan, how do you vote?
I vote in favor.
Board Member Dennehy.
I vote in favor.
And I don't know, as a Board Member Sina, have you joined the call? That's fine. Move forward. Board Member Primavera.
In favor.
Board Member Ripley.
In favor.
And Board Member Joyce.
In favor.
Thank you. Matter passes. Hillcrest also had another brief petition for an eviction petition for 36 Crestview Street. I'll let Attorney Laverty speak on that, but again, for the board's purposes, this is not a vote or a discussion on whether or not the person should be evicted or if they will be evicted. It's just merely acknowledging that Hillcrest has complied with the board's regulations to show that there was an outstanding balance and that the resident has been communicated with. Attorney Laverty, if you'd like to speak on this briefly.
Yes, this is a certificate of eviction requested by Hillcrest for 36 Crestview Street. The resident at this home site was served with a notice to quit, 30-day notice to quit for non-payment of rent back on August 31st of 2023, excuse me, on July 13th of 2023, was a non-payment of rent case. The outstanding balance at that time was $1932.40. No payments have been made on that account since the notice to quote was served. And currently the outstanding balance through the end of December is $4,771.48. And we are simply requesting a certificate of eviction so that we can take the next step, which is to file an action in the Southeast Housing Court in order to move forward with a non-payment of rent case.
Is there any resident or a person from 36 Crestview who would like to speak on the matter? Having none, I'll leave it to if the member of the board like to move for the board to vote on this.
This is Patty Dennehy. I vote to move to vote on this.
Do we have a second?
Second.
I think let's go down the list again. Board Member Sullivan, and for the matter of the Hillcrest eviction for the petition of 36 Crestview, how do you vote?
I vote in favor.
Thank you. Board Member Dennehy,
I vote in favor.
Board Member Primavera,
In favor.
Board Member Ripley,
Favor.
and Board Member Joyce.
Favor.
Thank you for your time. Then now just moving forward to the third item on the board's agenda is the rent increase petition by Live Oaks Village for a 7% increase for the period of July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. I believe Attorney Radigan is here on that matter.
Yes,
If you'd like to speak, Attorney Radigan, the floor is yours.
thank you very much. Hi, everybody. John Radigan, DLA Piper, for the record, 33 Arch Street, Boston. Representing Hometown Leisure Woods Land LLC, the owner of the land at Live Oak Village. With me are Josephine Santa Fe, the community manager, and the regional manager, Kyle Howison. So if you have any questions, they're here to help with those. We are also here on a general adjustment to rent, which is the annual adjustment that communities are entitled to as long as we limit the increase to 7% and comply with the board's rules, which we have also done. And the increase is the same CPI increase that the Hillcrest community just mentioned, 7%. That we will bring the rent up by $46.30 to a total of $707.71. Hometown recognizes the burden of the catch-up, and as did Hillcrest. And what we're suggesting to the residents is that we would spread that out over 12 months starting in February. So nobody has to spend too much to catch up. That's a $27 a month, no interest, and to hopefully soften the load. So as I said, we have filed for the increase. We've limited this to CPI as required by your board. We also have no judgments regarding repairs or health violations. Those are two other requirements of your ordinance. And happy to answer any questions relating to the proposed increase. Thank you.
Open now the floor if there's any residents who'd like to speak on the matter. Do the raise your hand action. And also just ask when you will do an order of which you request. Just please, when you start, state your name and address for the record, please.
So my name is Bob LaRocco. I live at 1 Rebecca Road in Live Oaks Village. Am I coming through?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, great. On both prospective websites, Live Oaks Village and Leisure Woods, they list amenities. Leisure Woods has approximately 8 to 10 amenities for their residents. Live Oaks Village is listed as 1, a walking path. That walking path, unfortunately, we thought it was going to be a live meeting, so we took pictures of the walking path. The walking path is unusable. and it's actually dangerous. There are places where you can't get through. Trees have fallen across the path. The path is overgrown with weeds, with grass. Sometimes you can't even tell where the path is. So that's a non-entity. Our only amenity is unusual. It's hazardous, actually. The path goes behind the house, starts at my house, at the very first house on the right in Rebecca Road. And to the right-hand side of my house, it starts on Rebecca Road and then weaves its way behind all of the houses all the way down to the end of, what's the road? Leslie Court, I'm sorry. When I first moved here 10 years ago, I was able to walk that path with a little bit of, it wasn't easy, but it was walkable. As a matter of fact, my son and I and two of my grandsons walked it one time when we were having a barbecue. And it was relatively pleasant, not bad at all. But in the 10 years that I've been here, there's been zero maintenance on that walking path. And when I say that there are trees laying across it that it is unwalkable, I mean these are big trees. The only thing that saved any of the houses from any damage is the trees fell into the woods, not onto the properties. I guess you get the point. That's our only amenity. We have a tree problem in this community also. There are numerous trees that are not so much on my end of the street because there are very few trees down there. But a lot of the homes up here on the upper part of Rebecca and on Leslie Court border the woods. And there are a lot of trees and branches that are hanging over that that are dangerous, you know. They'd come down in a windstorm in a heartbeat. This dates back to 2019, 2020, when one of our former residents got involved with trying to have some trees removed. It took quite a while. I realized Joe Santa Fe was not here at that time. But the point is that the response was pretty tough. And in fact, there was no response. So this made him go to the town hall. And when he went to the town hall, he went to the tree warden and he went to a fellow by the name of John Lucas. We've got letters that say that all the trees, including the trees in the wetland area, belong to Leisure Woods or Live Oaks Village. We have letters from the tree warden that basically say they're your trees, you need to take care of them. You need to cut them down. Or we have trees that are leaning, completely out of the ground, leaning, and some trees that need to be topped, trees that need to be have the branches taken off because they're hanging precariously close to the residences. There are quite a number of tree problems in the neighborhood, and we haven't had any response in quite a while. As a matter of fact, one of our residents has called about a tree problem, and the response was, "We're not doing trees right now." So that's our problem with trees. I'm not. Somebody else was supposed to talk on the trees in more detail, but he unfortunately became ill. We'll go to the rent increase now. The rent increase is based on CPI. That Plymouth decision there. I think the lawyers for Hometown America said CPI because that's the way it's always been. Doesn't mean that's the way it always has to be. The town of Rockland selectmen and/or the rent control board or both, have the power to change the method used to determine the rent increase. COLA, FNOI, there's numerous ways of doing that. It takes some work from the town officials, It would also add some accountability to HTA to show the right to increase by subtracting, especially for FNOI, by subtracting the expenses from their gross income. All these things are in the, between the Rockland rent control regulations, section L, and the Attorney General's, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but in the Attorney General's Guide to Manufactured Housing, they claim that rent should be the same for same class, same services, same amenities, and there's one other, same size, lot size. Well, we believe that LOV is listed as Leisure Woods DBA Live Oaks Village. I believe that puts us in the same class. Not sure, but that's the way I read it. We don't believe that the HTA, we don't believe they keep two separate set of books or bank accounts. So I think all the money probably goes into one fund. As far as I know, lot sizes are mostly likely similar. We certainly don't have the same amenities, as I pointed out. The services, I'm assuming, would be close to the same. Trash pickup, plowing the roads, etc. Large item pickup, things like that. But as far as maintenance goes, we here at LOV get very little maintenance from Hometown America. Leisure Woods has much bigger, much more amenities than we do.
We didn't even get a Christmas light.
Yeah, and it costs a lot of money to maintain those amenities. It doesn't cost any money over here because we don't have any amenities, and the one amenity that we did have hasn't been maintained. So we get precious little maintenance from Hometown America over here at LOV. In the more recent years, we found that things have started to stop. Services are little things that Hometown America does for us every once in a while. They used to put flowers at the mailbox. They don't anymore. They used to put planters down at the columns. They don't anymore. The Rockland Trail we've already covered. They used to put Christmas lights on the kiosk, the mailbox kiosk. They don't anymore. So, and plus the tree maintenance. On top of rent, we here at Live Oaks Village pay between an average of $2,500 to $3,000 per year for snow removal, lawn care, and lawn cutting. That's on top of the rent that we pay. Okay. So to wrap up, at LOV, we believe that we're not being treated fairly as far as getting the same rent increase as Leisure Woods. We don't see as how that's tied in. Since there is no accountability by HTA to where our money goes, where it's spent, we are sure that our money is being used to subsidize maintenance and repair at Leisure Woods. It takes a lot of money to maintain all of those amenities. I mean, they've got a rec hall. They've even got a courtesy van over there. We don't have that. And by the way, just so that you'll know, we're pretty much excluded from using those amenities. So since there's no accountability, excuse me for a minute. We've come to a conclusion that, like I said, we're kind of subsidizing the maintenance and repair over to Leisure Woods. We're the elderly population. We're pretty much other than little kids. We're pretty much the most susceptible in society. We're elderly. Most of us are on fixed incomes. There are very few people in this neighborhood that work. Okay, so we're on fixed incomes, Social Security. Your rent raise was 7%. Our COLA was 3.2%. You can see where we're coming from, okay? So in closing, we're asking that the Rent Control Board and/or selectmen, however that works, to dig a little deeper into the way Live Oaks Village rent increase is assessed by HTA and the fairness of it, and not just rubber stamp the rent increase using CPI, because that's the way it's always been. Yeah, we ask for that from you. We thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, sir. Oh, just if anyone else would like to speak, do the raise your hand icon. I would just advise any subsequent speakers of the board that the board for this meeting is bound by the current language within the board's rules and regulations, which requires an approval of a rent increase petition of a CPI with at or below CPI, unless it can be established that within the 60 days prior to the filing of the petition, there's an unresolved order or judgment of a court of competent jurisdiction relating to any such complaint regarding substantial deterioration or failure to perform ordinary repair, or respect to the sanitary code within the town of Rockland, a finding by the Board of Health or any competent board, commission, or other agency authorized to such regulations that there's a material violation of any applicable code, regulation, statute, or otherwise. Presently, the board has not received any such petition, so it is the board's prerogative for this meeting, based on the current bylaws, that the board is bound by to approve the petition. But if any other residents would like to be heard on the matter, now is your opportunity before the board moves forward to vote.
Go ahead, talk.
May I speak real quickly one more time?
Sure.
Thank you. We've also asked at previous meetings, which were live meetings. As I said, we pay for our own lawn care. We pay for our own lawn mowing, lawn care, meaning fertilizing, whatever, lawn mowing and snow removal. And I just wonder if HCA could find it in its heart to pay for a couple of those amenities to make up for something that we don't have. I know some other parks that HCA owns has those included in their rent. This all works to fairness. It's just, we have nothing. Other parks have a lot of other different things, and we don't have any amenities included, as I said, except for the walking path, which is unusable and hazardous. So I'm wondering if that could be a consideration by HCA to include lawn care, lawn cutting, snow removal, whatever. Thanks again.
Your time, sir. Any other residents want to be heard on this matter? Attorney Ragan, do you have anything further to add before the board votes?
I'm sorry, could I just,
Carolyn Maney.
Oh,
I don't know whether
okay, go
they
ahead.
can hear me.
Hello? Hi, please state your full name and address for the record.
She just,
No, excuse. Yeah.
Miss Maney?
I can't. What happened? Hello? Yes. Hello? Can you hear me?
We can. Hi, please just state your full name and record for the address, please, and address for the record, please.
Carolyn Maney, 3 Leslie Court, Rockland, Mass.
Right.
Okay, did you want me to say what I have to say?
Yes, please. We can.
Okay, well, I just want you to know, we're tenants and we have responsibilities to pay our rent on time and keep up our property. We own our houses, but not our land or driveway. We are expected to maintain the exterior in a neat and appropriate way, mow our lawns, remove snow from our driveways and walkways. Our landlord collects our rent, plows our street, and avoids doing anything else. Just a reminder, we have no use of Leisure Woods facilities. We have never seen the expenses they pay to maintain Live Oaks, but we certainly see increases every year with no justification for them other than they are allowed to do it. We have no dedicated maintenance person and questionable response when we have a problem. We've had problems that we have fought with them about. We can enumerate if necessary, but this just say it includes digging up our lawn and driveway. What we went through to get them to fix it. It's not completely fixed either. Driveway never replaced and only paid once to have it seal coated. Unfortunately, the latest problem was a sewerage problem. And we had that going on for a couple of different years. I reported it to the, the board that handles the things. We have a pump. Leslie Court is below grade, and they pump up our sewerage to the sewer pipe. Mine had multiple problems, and it always happened on a weekend. And unfortunately, the responses were not very good. The pump alarm would go off. It went off in June of 2020. Many calls, days, and aggravations, and hopefully it's was resolved on January, but then was the pandemic. What happened was we had to call 2 electricians ourselves, and they came out. And eventually, after a pumping truck was called, which it wasn't a pumping, they told me they were going to come back the following week. This was on New Year's Eve weekend of 2020. And I called the public health department the following week and filed the complaint because we couldn't flush our toilets. We couldn't run water. We had, it was like camping out, but we weren't camping out. So we ended up getting 2 electricians who came out and worked on it and found out after many visits, I have receipts and everything, that the wire that was connecting to the pump was frayed and was never correctly installed. So, I mean, this was what goes on. And we did get reimbursed for the 2 electricians, but nobody can reimburse us for the horror of my having to wash my dishes in a dish pan and then take it out and throw the water over the railing in the back, and not being able to go to the bottom and flush the toilet. I can't comprehend, and they never explained this to us, that we were paying electricity for these pumps. The pump is their responsibility. It was never really explained to me about this pump until the alarm went off when I was in Florida and I wasn't even home and the alarm was going off. So explain that one to me. So I just wish you would consider the fact that we don't get much. I mean, I called over there yesterday because the wind had blown out my pilot light. Well, that's okay. I called my gas company that services my gas company. But then I noticed in the backyard a shingle from it must be my roof because it's the only one that looks like it in my backyard. I called over there twice, got an answering machine twice. Called this morning first thing, got an answering machine. Then Joe called me back and said, oh, she wasn't there and the girl wasn't there. And they don't send their workers up on the roof because I'm too old, to climb up on a roof where the shingle came from. And that was it. They don't send anyone over here to climb up on the roof. But I tell you right now, I can't, if I ran into a maintenance person from over at Leisure Woods, I wouldn't know them. I mean, I've met them once. They were nice enough once, but I mean, we have nobody to talk to about any of the problems. We don't even know what they're responsible for over there, except telling us no. All right, well, that's all I have to say. I just think that before you, we're paying, I think, a reasonable rate now. I really don't think you should go up, and but I don't think that we'll have any control over it because we've never seen the books. The only thing they bought was the land here, and we've never, they never do anything about taking care of the walking trail. I have a tree that fell down a year and a half ago and requested to have it removed because it's over. It fell on top of the walking trail. No, they came out and took trees down, but they ignored the tree that was there. Ignored it. Now that was a year and a half ago. And I did write up a paper and put it in over there. So I don't know. We get no response from Howison and at Hometown America over the years. So I think maybe they should try to be a little bit nicer to us. I think we cause them no problems, but they cause us a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
back
your
my
time.
time? Whatever. I don't even know whether they heard me.
We,
Yeah, we heard you.
Attorney Raggan, do you have any further? We have a
Just one question. My name's Mary DeFazio. I live at 4 Leslie Court. I just wanted to, this is just response to the December 4th letter we all received about the rent increase, but aren't we supposed to get at least 30 days about a rent increase, that they're looking for retro money for over, the year there, but are we supposed to get a 30-day notice? Because I mean, it wasn't 30 days, we just got it December 4th. Thank you very much.
I would say the board's rules and regulations do not require a 30-day notice for them to discuss a vote. But Attorney Radigan, if you'd like to speak on this matter.
Sure, thanks. I'm happy to yield to another resident if.
That's a board member,
Mr.
Ripley.
Ripley.
Did you have a comment?
Yeah, whichever you'd like.
Sorry, I just have a quick question, and that is, are we allowed to ask a question?
Sure, if you of a resident or Attorney Radigan, or we good?
Yeah.
I think more of you actually, and maybe Radigan. So we are required to vote if there's no petition before us, but it seems like the residents have a lot of concerns. Is there some way, is any of our responsibility to guide them or tell them how they could file a petition before the board for the next increase if they do have this much trouble with maintenance?
Well, it's not a petition per se. I would say that the board's rules and regulations are clear that there's timing requirements and CPI requirement ranges that say that Live Oak's petition is compliant with the board's rules and regulations, and that barring a information regarding a pending housing court claim or a Board of Health decision, the board cannot deny the petition if it's compliant with its rules and regulations, which it presently is.
Oh, I wasn't asking about us denying it. I was asking how the citizens there, the people who live there, the tenants that live there, how could they file a petition? Is that something that we can advise them on, or they have to go elsewhere to do that? They said they do seem like they have a lot of concerns.
Well, I think Attorney Radigan could, I think, speak on that point if he needs to.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everybody, Mr. LaRocco, Ms. Maney, Ms. DeFazio, Ms. Ripley. Kyle Howison is the regional manager for Hometown, and why don't we ask him, and as Attorney Kavoyan has said, this is the rules and regulations of the town of Rockland require you to approve this if we only ask for a CPI adjustment. But since we're here and these concerns are legitimate, and Hometown wants to say a few words about it, and so why doesn't Kyle Howison, why don't we ask you to respond to some of these things, and then we won't take too much of your time with that, but let's not let them go unnoticed.
Yes, thank you, John, and thanks to the board. I would just like to say that, here at the hearing, I participate and I listen because I want to hear and get feedback from the residents. And I appreciate testimony tonight regarding the walking path. I'm not sure if that concern was submitted to the community office in Joe Santa Fe. That is the first time in a while that I've heard we've had an issue or problem with the walking path. And I will take the prerogative to investigate that issue with the walking path. And if there's concerns with accessibility or condition or removing some trees that have fallen, I will take care of that immediately. I think the only and the other most current complaint, I heard some stuff that was going back a couple years regarding some different items, but was the tree maintenance. And I know that Hometown has done a significant amount of tree work at Live Oaks. For those of you that haven't been in the community at Live Oaks, it's 20 sites of just really a beautiful community and a great setting. And with that, there's a lot of trees, and most of the trees in the community are actually behind the residents' homes in somewhat of a natural water area. So it's kind of an area that, you know, needs to be maintained. I know there was some talk about a tree warden coming out and identifying a couple of trees that needed to be taken down. But that was several years ago, if my recollection is right, and all those that were identified were removed. But I think the important thing that I want to stress is that if a resident has a specific concern or question about a tree or something else at their site or at their community, I know Josephine Santa Fe, our community manager, is very responsive to those concerns and needs. And if she is unable to provide enough feedback or a resolution, then certainly residents can contact myself. So I think there's avenues for us to deal with resident concerns and issues and complaints. You know, the walking path, we will definitely address that and get that taken care of immediately. As far as using amenities at Rockland, the communities are separate and managed separately. And obviously, when Live Oaks was developed and residency agreements were in place, we're honoring those agreements and what we've you know, outlined in those as far as, you know, what Live Oaks has access to and what services and amenities. So again, I just want to stress that you know, we're here to listen to our residents, and I appreciate the testimony that we heard tonight. I've taken some notes, and everything that needs to be followed up on will be. And I appreciate everyone that taking the time to speak about any issues that they do have. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Are there any other residents before the board moves to vote who haven't had an opportunity to speak would like to be heard? Okay. Seeing none, is there the final agenda item for the board is to vote on Live Oaks rent increase petition of 7% from July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. Do I have a board member who'd initiate that?
Hi, this is Patty Dennehy. I move that we go to a vote.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I think moving down the list. Board member Sullivan,
In favor.
board member Dennehy,
In favor.
board member Primavera,
In favor.
board member Ripley,
In favor.
and then board member Joyce. Do you abstain from vote?
I abstain.
Thank you for the record. Thank you everyone for your time. The board will, this is the final items. The only other matter was a new outstanding business unanticipated, which there is no new business for the board. So the board, per its rules and regulations, will be circulating a timely notice of its decision. But we want to thank you for everyone for your involvement in time, and this will conclude today's meeting.
Thank you.